Have you ever noticed how many people out there dream of becoming public figures? Everyone wants to go viral, look attractive, and be admired, but only a rare few actually reach that level. These people stand out in ways you can't ignore, and maybe you've never even heard of them. Their presence is so striking that even a single glance feels impossible to forget. If you're curious about their stories, you don't need to dig through long, boring books. We'll introduce you to them and share everything in just a few minutes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Number 15. Alice Bounds. She never needed arms to impress anyone. Alice Bounds became one of the most admired sideshow performers of the early 1900s, known for her incredible precision using only her feet. Born around 1890, she learned to sew, write, and even lace her own corset without help. Fairgoers watched in disbelief as she poured tea, signed autographs, and drew portraits with her toes. What made her unforgettable wasn't just her skill, but her humor and confidence on stage. While many viewed her act as curiosity, Alice turned it into art, proving strength wasn't about appearance but adaptability. Long before disability awareness existed, she lived independently and toured across Britain and America. Her grace made people rethink what normal could mean. Audiences left her shows amazed not out of pity, but admiration. She wasn't a sideshow act to herself. She was living proof that limits only exist if you accept them. Number 14. Nikolai Kobalkov. The Human Trunk. Born in 1851 in Russia, Nikolai Kobalkov entered life without arms or legs, but with enough determination for 10 people. As a child, he refused pity and instead learned to write, paint, and even shoot with his mouth. By his 20s, he was performing across Europe as the Human Trunk, astounding crowds with his wit and skill. Unlike many performers of his time, he controlled his own career, managing his finances and choosing his shows carefully. After years of success, Nikolai retired from the stage and built a comfortable life in Austria. He even opened one of the first cinemas in Linz, using his earnings from the circus. His story stood out because he didn't let physical limits define his future. He taught people that being different doesn't mean being less capable. Audiences came expecting shock. They left inspired by sheer intelligence and charm. A performer who didn't just survive, he thrived. Number 13. Jose Mestre. Imagine living in a world where every glance reminds you you're different. Jose Mestre from Lisbon, Portugal, faced that reality every day. Born in 1956, he developed a rare facial tumor that grew uncontrollably for more than 40 years. It eventually weighed over 12 pounds, covering most of his face and making eating, breathing, and speaking a struggle. Yet Jose kept his dignity. He became known across Europe not only for his appearance, but for his calm acceptance and kindness toward those who stared. When he finally agreed to surgery in his later years, the world watched in awe. Doctors removed the growth that had defined his life, and for a short while, he lived freely. His story reminded people how cruel judgment can be, and how resilience often hides behind silence. Jose never sought fame, but the world couldn't look away. His strength left a quiet echo few could forget. Number 12. Barbara Ursler. In 17th century Europe, curiosity ruled the streets. Among wandering performers stood Barbara Ursler, born in 1629 in Augsburg, Germany. By her teenage years, she had a full, dark beard that stunned her neighbors. Instead of hiding, Barbara took control of her image and began performing in public exhibitions. Her grace, charm, and poise soon attracted attention from nobles across Europe. She was presented at royal courts, admired as both a marvel and a mystery. Artists painted her likeness, fascinated by her serene expression and proud bearing. Barbara didn't treat her difference as misfortune. She used it to challenge beauty itself. Long before feminism had a voice, she showed that confidence could rewrite every standard set by society. Though her later life remains a mystery, her legacy lingers in historical sketches. She wasn't simply a performer. She was a woman who dared to live on her own terms centuries before others could. The next one will truly make you question what's possible. Number 11. George Lippert. Crowds gasped the moment he walked on stage. George Lippert, born in Germany in 1844, had not 2 but 3 legs, and as later discovered, 2 hearts. His condition made him one of the strangest human wonders of the 19th century. He joined P.T. Barnum's circus and traveled through America and Europe, astonishing spectators wherever he went. Beyond the shock factor, George had an unexpectedly kind spirit and a taste for storytelling. He entertained rather than exploited his difference. Decades before medical curiosity turned into science, he allowed doctors to study his anatomy to better understand human formation. But his heart, both literal and emotional, was bigger than his fame. He later retired quietly, working as a cabinet maker and living modestly until his death in 1906. To those who met him, George wasn't just the three-legged man. He was a reminder that uniqueness could still walk with dignity. Number 10. Fanny Mills. They said curiosity followed her wherever she went. Fanny Mills, born in 1860 in Sandusky, Ohio, had feet so large they required custom shoes nearly half a meter long. Her condition, called Milroy's disease, caused her legs and feet to swell far beyond normal size. Instead of hiding away, Fanny stepped right into the spotlight, literally. She performed at dime museums and fairs, often joking about her size and showing off her specially made boots. Despite the odd looks, audiences adored her friendly humor and wit. Many came expecting to be shocked, but left laughing with her. Her act wasn't about pity, it was about turning what made her different into something unforgettable. Away from the stage, Fanny lived a quiet life with her husband, proving fame didn't have to change her warmth. She wasn't just the Bigfoot girl. She was proof that confidence always fits, no matter the size. Number 9. Francesco Lentini. Born in 1889 in Sicily, Francesco Lentini came into the world with 3 legs and an extra foot attached to his 3rd limb. Doctors were fascinated, but he treated it like no curse, just another part of him. At 8 years old, he joined a traveling circus, performing acrobatics, soccer tricks, and even jumping rope using all 3 legs. Audiences loved his charm and humor as much as his incredible skill. He later became an American citizen and one of the most respected showmen of his era. Francesco married and had children, balancing both fame and family with ease. While others sought attention for shock, he earned it with talent. Every performance reminded people that physical differences could never limit human joy. Until his death in 1966, he kept performing, smiling, and inspiring. He didn't just have 3 legs. He had an unmatched drive to make the world look twice and smile once. Let's move on to someone even more unbelievable. Number 8. Charles Tripp and Eli Bowen. 2 men, 1 dream, and not a single limb between them. Charles Tripp was born in 1855 without arms, while Eli Bowen, born in 1844, had no legs. When the 2 met in the late 1800s, they formed one of the most brilliant partnerships in circus history. Charles handled everything with his feet, while Eli balanced and supported their stunts. Together, they performed bicycle acts, woodworking, and tricks that seemed to defy logic. Their chemistry was unmatched, built on humor and mutual respect. They proved that teamwork could turn physical limitations into artistry. Each show ended with applause, not out of sympathy, but admiration. What made them special wasn't what they lacked, it was how perfectly they complemented each other. Decades later, their legacy still stands as a symbol of unity and creativity. In a world that often divides people by difference, they showed how two halves could truly make a whole. Number 7. Sarah Biffen, the armless artist. Talent sometimes arrives in the most unexpected ways. Sarah Biffen, born in Somerset, England in 1784, came into the world without arms or legs, but with a gift that stunned everyone. Using only her mouth, she painted detailed miniature portraits that rivaled the best artists of her time. Her work impressed even King George III, who commissioned her to paint members of his court. At just 23, she joined a traveling exhibition, drawing crowds who couldn't believe their eyes as she created masterpieces live on stage. But her fame didn't stop there. She became one of England's most celebrated miniature artists. Sarah's art wasn't just beautiful, it broke barriers. She turned what people called a freak show act into fine art. Even after fame faded, her paintings continued to sell for high value. She left behind not just portraits, but proof of what dedication can create when talent refuses to be limited. Wait till you see this next person. It's hard to believe they were real. Number 6. Miss Wharton. There were performers who shocked crowds, and then there was Miss Wharton. Known as the elastic-skinned lady, she performed in the late 19th century with skin so stretchy she could pull it over her face and twist it into knots without pain. Born around 1865, she gained fame touring with Barnum and Bailey Circus, where doctors and scientists tried to understand her mysterious condition. Audiences were fascinated not only by her unusual flexibility, but also by her playful confidence. She turned discomfort into laughter, performing with a wink and a grin. While some acts depended on props, Miss Wharton needed only herself. Behind the stage curtain, she was described as witty and gentle, often comforting children frightened by her show. Unlike many performers of her era, she controlled her own image, never a victim, always a star. Her legend lives quietly now, stretched across time just like the skin she made famous. Number 5. John Valerius. In the early 1920s, when body art was still taboo, John Valerius made his skin a full exhibition. Born in 1892, he spent years working with tattoo masters across America, covering every inch of his body in symbols, portraits, and geometric patterns. People lined up to see him. His chest displayed historical figures, his arms animals, his back entire battle scenes. He wasn't a brawler or rebel. He was a walking canvas at a time when tattoos meant danger or devotion. Museums and circuses paid well to show him under banners reading "The Living Tattoo Gallery." Reporters often described him as polite and quiet, far from the rough image audiences expected. Valerius never explained his designs. He let them speak for themselves. By the 1930s, his tours faded, and only rare photos remain. Still, those images show a man who turned his own body into the most personal art form of his time. Number 4. Captain Constantinus. Few performers had stories as strange as Captain Constantinus. Born around 1836 in Albania, he claimed to have been captured in Burma and tattooed head to toe as punishment, an ordeal that took over 300 hours. Whether true or theatrical fiction, it fascinated 19th century crowds. His skin, completely covered with vivid Eastern-style tattoos, became a spectacle across Europe and America. He dressed in bright uniforms and told elaborate tales of his ordeal, often hinting that his markings held mystical meanings. Medical examiners later confirmed the tattoos were real, though his story likely wasn't. Still, he earned enormous sums performing for Barnum's Circus and at world fairs. When not on stage, he reportedly lived elegantly, owning jewels and fine clothes. Constantinus blurred the line between pain and performance. No speeches, no tricks, just a man displaying the marks that made him impossible to forget. The truth never mattered. The sight did. Number 3. Madame Clofullia. Madame Clofulia drew attention long before she set foot on any stage. Born in 1831 in Geneva, Switzerland, she grew a full beard by age 8. Her parents presented her to European audiences, and by her 20s, she had become a respected performer in P.T. Barnum's American Museum. Audiences expected something grotesque. Instead, they met a graceful woman with refined manners and elegant gowns. Even Napoleon III invited her to perform at his court. Her beard, which reached 10 inches in length, was styled and perfumed like fine hair, a quiet act of defiance in an era obsessed with appearance. Barnum's publicity called her a miracle of femininity and strength, but Clofulia avoided the dramatics, speaking little and letting her presence carry the show. After retiring to Switzerland, she lived privately with her family. Her name still appears in old playbills, listed not as a curiosity, but as an unforgettable performer. Number 2. Ella Millet. When audiences saw Ella Millet for the first time, they thought it was a trick. She stood tall but weighed barely 36 kilograms. Born in 1872, she suffered from an undiagnosed metabolic condition that left her with paper-thin limbs and a narrow frame. Theaters advertised her as the Skeleton Woman, and people came from miles away to see her outline every bone under the lights. Doctors examined her repeatedly, unable to explain how she remained healthy despite her appearance. She performed quietly, posing or answering questions while wearing formal Victorian dresses that exaggerated her thinness. Unlike many in her field, she avoided spectacle. No stunts, no chatter, only presence. Her shows fascinated scientists as much as audiences, becoming part of early anatomical exhibitions. By the turn of the century, Ella disappeared from public record, leaving only a few faded photographs, delicate reminders of a performer whose body became its own exhibition. Ready for something that'll stay in your head long after this video? Number 1. Joyce Heth. In 1835, a frail woman named Joyce Heth was advertised as George Washington's 161-year-old nurse. Crowds paid to see her through P.T. Barnum's traveling exhibition, fascinated by the idea of meeting someone born before the United States itself. Joyce was, in truth, an elderly enslaved woman used for show business, a controversial act even then. She told stories of Little George, sang lullabies, and recited prayers in front of stunned audiences. Newspapers debated whether she was genuine or a fabrication, but that only fueled Barnum's profits. When she died later that year, an autopsy revealed she was around 80, not 161. Barnum even sold tickets to the examination, shocking the public and cementing his reputation as a master promoter. Joyce Heth's name remains tied to one of the earliest and most disturbing examples of human exhibition in American history. So, now you've met 15 real people who didn't chase fame. It found them. Each stood out for reasons most couldn't imagine, turning everyday life into something unforgettable. Every one of them left behind stories that still catch attention centuries later. The world may have changed, but curiosity hasn't. People will always be drawn to what feels strange, rare, or impossible. Well, if you found this video informative, then hit like, share the video, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories ahead. Thanks for giving us time.